like that seems like a good omen.
So, what were you able to follow from the conversation between Laia and Bob?
Me, nothing. I heard something about there's someone named Leah who's a college friend of Bob's, and that's literally all I've heard.
Basically, Bob invited you to meet this mentor that could help you get like doing a job, and it turns out to be someone that they already knew each other, and now it's the turn for you to introduce yourself to this new person.
To introduce myself to Leah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm using my old computer, which doesn't have access to all my accounts on it. So I have some notes on my other computer, but my other computer has no internet, and my computer that has internet doesn't have my notes. So I won't be able to like update the character keeper real time. But I think I have like a offline copy I can just look at. Let's see. So introduce myself. Like I would introduce myself to a regular person. Hey, I'm Julian. I'm buddies with Bob. Is that right?
Yeah, and I think Leah just like looks at you and says like, "Oh yeah, I hear you like to have a good time," and she like the bar gets like some drinks, I think, from the bar, probably like a aperitif or something, Aperol Spritz or something like that. I think this is a place that she sometimes go to because they serve, free food with the drinks sometimes. So it's like an efficient place to get both drunk and have and eat. And she like says, "Oh yeah, you're also on the app then, I guess."
Oh, the iHunt. Yeah, I just joined. So far it seems to be going pretty well, although I don't like that there seems to be a reasonable chance I could get eaten. That's not my favorite part of it, but hey, I got paid 1,000. What's the name of the money here? Credits? What do we call it?
Euros. Yeah, okay. It's a fantasy coin.
Okay. Yeah, I got 1,000 euros on the last job. It was great. They already put it in my account. You got yours, I assume, Bob, right? It's a lot of money. That's really good. I mean, it's more money than I've made in a while, anyway.
That's how they lure you in. But yeah, it is better money than jobs, sadly. It's not too bad if you can just, sort the bad jobs from the even worse jobs, I guess.
So you've been on this for a while then. You have some experience, Leah?
Well, I did stop for a while now because, trying to support myself with my actual skills, but yes, I've been doing it for a bit.
What are your actual skills? What do you prefer to do when you're not selling monsters?
Oh, she's like the best artist I ever met.
Oh,
sometimes
cool.
You gotta come by my apartment to see this portrait she made when we were in college. I mean, I would never sell it, but if I were gonna sell it, I bet it would go for like a ton of money. It's like amazing.
Wow.
I can't even believe she needs to make it.
That's incredible. I'd love to see your work sometime. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and I think she takes like a long sip of her drink and says, some days you'll find me sitting in the park outside the art academy selling my work. It's the dream. She like laughs, and that's where the app comes in. Puts food on the table.
We did our first Leah. Julian and our friend Diego couldn't be here today, but the three of us did our first job together recently. I think Diego had done some before, but there was this ghoul, and then there was like another ghoul, but it took us a minute to figure it out. But we had to go to this like fancy pants, like, I don't know, what was it, like a resort, a retreat, a sanatorium? I got confused. But anyway, we went, and there was like all this cool stuff. Like, we were like doing parkour, and then there was like this incinerator, and Diego used a blowtorch. So that, like, we've only done that one gig, but I thought it was like an action hero thing, kind of, you know.
Well, it was very exciting, and you and Diego were very much like action heroes. I felt like I was the first person to die in a slasher movie, except I was lucky enough to get away.
Well, we weren't gonna let you get killed.
I appreciate that. That's why I like you, Bob. One of the reasons I like you.
I mean, there are worse reasons to be liked than not letting people get killed, I guess. Maybe. Well, anyway, Leah just took a job that I was offered that we're gonna do together.
Slight retcon. Because Julian is here, you still have not pressed on accept.
Okay.
And Julian, you had Bob has told you about the job that he was considering. You actually have a job that is not on Bob's listings. So you have the same jobs that Bob has, but you also have an additional one. If you go to the app tab on the character keeper, you're gonna see the fifth one, the job, the Phantom of the Theater one.
I'm very excited about that one.
And that one has been listed to the option. So if the three of you are working together, you have opened these 5 different jobs.
The app. Oh, okay, there's an app tab. So, oh, wow, okay. So these are, these are screens in the app. Cool. Okay, that's nice. Awesome. Vampire Next Door, Sumerian Artifact, Site Cleanup, Possessed, a Chiron. Is that a car?
Yeah, it's a Bugatti Chiron. It's a car.
Okay. Wow, nice. I haven't heard of those. Looks like a fast car. That looks like fun. We should take the car one, right?
It's not really what I was leaning towards, but I mean, we should
come
talk
on, the
about
chance to drive a Chiron, like that's amazing. That's been like my dream. I love Bugatti Chirons.
I don't think we get to drive it. I think it would be trying to run us over, and we would have to stop it, and then the person who owns it would drive it.
I mean, but we'd have to like take it back to the person who owns it, right? I'm sure we could get like, at least a quick spin around the block in it.
I mean, your optimism remains impressive as ever. But I don't know. Leah and I were talking about the Sumerian artifact one because it pays more than twice as much.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, Leah knows all about art. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I think Leah laughs and is like, no, it's just mostly the 3,000 euros that intrigues me.
It's cool that you got one in a theater. I really like theaters. But it isn't so high paying.
And I think like Leah just like takes the drink and says, you know what, you take the one that you like the most. It's your first mentee thing anyway. I guess I'm supposed to teach you. Take whatever. That's
well. Can we take two concurrently because, like, the only one on Julian's app is the theater, and it's got 6 days left. And then the ones on mine, I think the Vampire Next Door only has 2 days. That makes me nervous. But the Sumerian Artifact one has 8 days left, so we could like take one on each person's app, and then in the next week try to get them both done. Unless you
that would be nice if if you were the only hunters on this microstate.
I mean, it seems like we are. Look, nobody's even picked up the Vampire Next Door one.
I wonder why. Why? I wonder why nobody picked to stalk college girls.
Bob would probably be too flustered to operate in that situation. He would be afraid of offending anyone. And so yeah, I think Bob's inclination is to take the Sumerian thing from his app and then to also at least like consider concurrently having Julian accept the theater one.
So I think probably like Leah says, the Bugatti one is a crap job. We might accept both of them and then do the Sumerian first, because and I think she just like looks at the app. It says here that if you have a scratch on the car that is possessed, both your pay is on the line. I mean,
he could like scratch it and then just pin it on us. Like, what are we gonna do? It's not like.
I mean, what if it's already scratched before we get there?
I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like there are no protections as far as I could tell. I read through the whole terms of service the other night, which there are really a lot in the fine print. But it doesn't seem to have a lot of protections in for the hunters, and it seems to have an awful lot in for the people. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Hiring the hunters.
Wow, that's amazing. Who reads through terms of service?
Oh, I just get focused on things sometimes. Plus, when my bank account's on the line, I kind of have to be careful because money's not always so easy these days. You see, like, sort of a shadow of, like, what's going on underneath the surface cross Bob's face for a second, but then, like, he regains his cheerful demeanor. But yeah, it's like if it came to their word against ours, the company would just side with them. So they could have us do the job and then make some bogus claim about like, a tiny scratch and not pay us anything.
Yeah,
and we would have no recourse. So I would be a little bit nervous about that one. I don't know. Like I said, I think the Sumerian Artifact one seems good because
it's already covered with scratches. I mean, come on. How much dirtier and more broken can a 80,000-year-old tablet get, right?
Well, maybe let's not think about it getting more broken. It is a historical
If it's completely
artifact.
broken, we'll just get him a new tablet. We can always, get like an Amazon Fire for, 1995 or whatever.
A 1995 Sumerian Artifact?
Oh, well, I mean, we could just like get an Amazon Fire app, tablet and put like a picture of like a Sumerian artifact on it, and then it's a tablet. All right. Never mind.
Can you
I'll leave the
afford
jokes to
a
you, Bob.
tablet?
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're joking. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I must be tired. Anyway, I just, it pays really well. And I know a fair amount about like the Sumerian, not folklore, but just, like you're talking about an ancient people, right? So you don't have like hard scientific documents, but I've read up on what we might be up against, which is good. And I I would love to do the theater one just to go in the theater. Like, I mean, if we like succeeded, I could practice my comedy there. But it seems less risky than the other ones.
Yeah, the Sumerian one seems reasonable. Something about demonic spirits. How hard can a demonic spirit be, right? I mean, they always win in the end of the horror movies.
That's true. I mean, you remember the ghoul, right?
As long as it doesn't look like Pinhead. I hate Pinhead. He's so creepy. If we get a demon who looks like Pinhead, I'm out of there.
I don't think the Sumerian demons are going to look like modern horror movie characters. But, I mean, what do I know? I've never met a Sumerian demon, right? Leah, and you can see that Bob is just like floundering here. He does not know what to say to any of this. Like he doesn't want to be rude, but like clearly this ancient artifact and the demons are not gonna resemble pop culture things at all, and he's flustered.
Yeah, I think Leah is just like, even though the drinks here are horribly expensive, the free food is not too bad. What you were saying about demons? Oh, I don't know. I never met any demons. Maybe that's why it's so much paid. I don't know.
I mean, the ghoul we met was pretty tough, and he actually seemed kind of nice. Like I was kind of hoping we could befriend him, really. But things got a little heated, if you know what I mean. He chuckles to himself because it's the incinerator, with the demon, or with the ghoul. But I don't know how different these would be. I can do even more research though before we go out to make sure that I have like really covered our bases. But I don't think they're likely to be not terrible. But I mean, that's the job, right?
Well,
Like
I
if
guess
it wouldn't pay well if they were easy to get rid of, right?
I mean, I guess here also the problem is that we don't know where it is. It was stolen.
That is true.
Oh, well, it says something about the demonic spirits have been released. So do they want the artifact back, or do they just want the spirits brought back? Maybe they just want us to put a bunch of demon spirits in a jar and bring them those.
No, I'm pretty sure they want the artifact.
They want the artifact with or without the demon spirits.
Probably without would be preferable, I imagine. I think that's meant to be a warning so that we don't like go looking for the artifact and get surprised by a bunch of demons.
Okay. So this was stolen somewhere around San Martino. Interesting. Well, it might be worth like looking around to see if we can hear anything, right? I mean, do we even have to accept the whole thing? Like, we could just start asking around if someone's, trying to pass off a Sumerian artifact. I mean, we could go to like some pawnbrokers or something. I don't know. Where does one sell a Sumerian artifact?
Probably not at a pawn shop.
Auction, maybe.
Yeah, I would imagine some sort of like private rich people auction.
Huh.
I mean, there's a reason that like it's a 3,000 euro gig, right? Like if it were worth less than 3,000 euros, they would not pay that much to get it back. And if it were only worth 3,000 euros, they would still probably not pay that amount to get it back. So it's probably worth a lot more than that. And
Well, wait
that's
a
why
minute.
they care.
If
I want to step in and offer a compel to Julian. The thing about you're not being convinced by 3,000 euros, has one of two options. The first is you are afraid that that movement of money will be too suspect. The other alternative is that you are in such debt that 3,000 euros will not make a difference. And I'm offering you a fate point, and this is a combo, so you have to choose between one of these.
Okay, I mean, the second one certainly sounds reasonable. I don't know if I understood the first one. That I thought the 3,000 is suspect, like, oh, like I was about to say that it seems to me that if it's worth so much more than 3,000, then why wouldn't we just, like, if we found the artifact, why wouldn't we just keep it and sell it for more than 3,000 ourselves?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's either that, you know, that whatever you do usually is so shady and under the table and outside of normal normal banking system that having 3,000 will probably get you, I don't know, under the eyes of the fiscal police or the IRS
Oh,
or
for
something.
me? Oh, I see.
Yeah,
if I suddenly
that's
can't
one alternative. Yeah. So
okay.
The other is that you are in such debt that, you know, even 3,000 will be too much. So it's better, you know, maybe to risk selling it and getting more money, because then actually that makes a difference. So
Yeah.
which one is more accurate? To
I feel like the first one is more accurate. I mean the second one is more accurate. Yeah, I think I'm. Although it's interesting. I hadn't really thought about the first one. So maybe I'm like, I've had a bunch of shady dealings in the past, and like I'm actually under like surveillance if I make very much money. That's pretty cool too. I kind of like them both. It's kind of hard to choose. I kind of want them both to be true. How about I'll just take the first one for now, and maybe you can offer me a compel on another occasion to be in debt as well.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so yeah, so maybe you weren't being so flippant because maybe you would prefer actually to be paid less amounts that you could explain.
Yeah. Although maybe, yeah, I think, So, okay, let's see. I just want to look at my character sheet now. So, okay, I kind of want to do this actually. So I'm thinking like, yeah, I can't take that much money because it'll be on people's radar if I do. But I think I'm also gonna pull on the aspect uh, open a bar where everybody knows your name. I think a lot of people. I think it goes both ways, right? I think for one thing, like the you know, the authorities know my name and they're keeping an eye on me. But I think I also just have like a lot of really shady connections, and I think that I also suspect, and maybe I would spend a fate point for this, to invoke an aspect where I actually like know people who fence like stolen artwork. And so I think I actually have a connection on this, which
Yeah,
puts me in a bind.
I think that's a very good use of a fate point to establish the fact that you know someone that can fence this.
Yeah. And so I'm like, hey, you know what? I kind of don't have like, you know, access to regular bank accounts. I'm talking to Bob and Leah right now. So, but I think what would happen is if we got this, we might be able to sell it for more than 3,000. I might be able to take care of that for you, but I might need your assistance in, you know, laundering the money if you two could help out with that. Does that interest you two?
Are you like making another joke?
No.
You want to steal a really expensive historical artifact after directly connecting it to my account by having me accept the job and then sell it and launder the money?
I mean, do you have to accept the job? Maybe we have enough clues on our own. Maybe we can just go steal it from the thief and then sell it ourselves for whatever the thief was going to sell it for, and let it just remain stolen in the eyes of the person who posted this. Who says we need to think inside the confines of the app?
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the system, but I mean, that probably belongs in a museum.
You want to risk your life and demonic possession to steal that back to donate it to a museum?
Well, we would get paid too.
I mean, it was going to a rich person. They're not putting it in a museum. It's going into a private collection somewhere.
Well, the one nice thing about rich people is that they often like put things on loan to museums. I go to museums on free museum days. There's like one day a month where if you have a library card, you can go to the museums, and things are often on loan from private collections. I don't really want to like become a criminal. Like laundering.
Think of it this way, though. You're
Tens
like
of
Robin
thousands
Hood.
of
You're
euros.
stealing from another criminal to give to the poor.
I don't think that's what you're talking about. Are you planning on giving away the money?
Well, are you poor?
You said laundering the money. That sounds like a crime.
Look, I see it this way. We know that a thief stole this Sumerian artifact, right? So we should bring justice to that thief by taking it away from them.
How are we different from them if we do that, but don't give it back to the person who owned it?
Because they stole it first.
The people who owned it stole it?
Yeah,
I mean, if you really want to get into that, probably yes.
Yeah, and I think probably actually Leah gets a little bit like bothered by this comment from Bob, because I mean she's from North Africa somewhere, so I imagine like she says, well, do you think a guy in San Marino legitimately owns this thing?
I don't know who put up the ad. I mean, as far as we know, it could be the curator of a museum, or it could be someone who like is a descendant from Sumerian people. I mean, it could also be some douchey white guy, but like we don't know anything about him or her or them. You know, the app doesn't really. It says a private collection from one of our clients. So it could be like a museum and one of their clients that like loans things from the private collection has had this thing stolen, or rather that it was already on loan to the museum from the client and it got stolen and now the museum's on the hook. Maybe that's why they're doing it. I mean, we just don't know without asking. Either way, I don't want to steal things. Like, if we were going to steal it and really do what was right, we would try to find an organization that was like for the preservation of Sumerian history and was like started and staffed by people of that heritage who like were invested in that culture, and give it back to them. But just selling it to some random person, like I just don't see how that makes us any better. Then like why don't we just steal something else?
Being better, it's a matter of can we afford to be doing charity work right now?
It's not charity work if we're getting paid to like find a stolen thing. It's a gig. Like all of these are gigs. And if we're gonna just become thieves of expensive things, why don't we steal things that aren't haunted by demons? This is stupid. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, and I try really hard to be like the cheerful guy in the room, but like I live in an apartment with like mold all over the walls and things falling apart, and I can barely afford it, and I have to like sign a lease, and I need to make money, and that's why I'm here. I'm not here to become a criminal. I'm not here to be like steal things. And if I were gonna steal really expensive things, they wouldn't be haunted, and they also wouldn't be historical artifacts, because that's not something that like benefits society. And society kind of sucks, but it's our job to make it better, not worse.
Bob, I really admire you. You're a good human being. Before we decide anything though, hold on a minute. And I take out my phone, and I call up my friend Roberto, who I know that they've fenced stolen artifacts in the past, and I'm just like, just give me a second, and I'm gonna call Roberto and see if he's heard of this thing, see if he knows of anybody who might be trying to sell it, or if anybody on the street's been talking about it.
I mean, you established that yes, there is a market, because pretty much every single art gallery in San Marino wants these things. And everyone has actually tried to get these, and everyone has an agent trying to buy this from the private collection it's from.
Okay, but it does belong to a particular private collection.
Yeah, that's what it says on the ad.
Okay. Oh, do we know anything about the private collection? Can we like investigate this person with a private collection?
Yes, you can.
Okay. That seems relevant to your concerns, Bob. We should find out about this private collection. See how worthy they are.
I don't feel good about any of this. But you know what? I don't want to be a killjoy, so I'm just gonna take a quick like jog around the block. You and Leah can talk about it. You know, I know Leah knows a lot about art. Maybe has some thoughts, and you know, I'm just gonna clear my head and come back. Don't let anyone drink my beer. And Bob kind of tries to appear sort of like cheerful and casual, but like walks out of the bar, obviously stressed by the situation.
Leah, do you know what that's about? How well do you know Bob?
I mean, I kind of knew him when he started studying. He was the year under me. I guess I helped him find his way around a little bit. It just seems to me to be just like a, you know, has a pretty strong moral compass.
That's admirable.
Yeah, it's just that, I don't know. I sometimes think that the compass is a little bit weirdly adjusted, but yeah, I think it's admirable too. I guess, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get anywhere with this. I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to find out how much we will get for it, but if we're gonna steal something.
It sounds like everybody knows about it. It sounds like it would be hard to fence it, probably. I mean, could probably get more than 3,000 euros for it, I would guess, but probably not. full value because everybody's got to be looking for this, right? I mean, if we got our hands on it, they'd expect us to turn it over.
They would probably be able to trace it back to us either way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe we should just do the job. I mean, 3,000 euros. It's enough for me. I don't expect. I hope if I'm gonna get rich selling art, it's gonna be my art.
Yeah. That's the spirit. All right.
Grabs
Well,
the last food thing and says, "Well, I am ready to go. If I stay here any longer and I have more drinks, I think I might, just stay."
yeah. Let's go get some work done. I mean, I got to get back to the casino and work a shift later tonight. So,
Where did Bob go?
sounded like he's going to be right back.
Did he actually go for a run?
Let's get to Bob. So, Bob, are you trying to parkour around the busiest piazza on the city?
No, I think he meant what he said. He just wanted to take a walk because he was flustered by the situation and he felt like he was already like snapping at his friends and he didn't want to like give into that mood and hurt anybody's feelings, but he was like completely caught off guard by the idea that we would like steal. I didn't realize I was muted. Sorry about that.
So,
should I repeat everything I just said? Was I muted the whole time?
No, I heard most of it.
Okay.
So, as you are walking around, you pass through one building, which seems to be mostly empty, and maybe a former mall, which they are keeping empty, even if this is the busiest place and the most sought out place to have a business. One of those buildings that they prefer to have it on disrepair, and they would rather have it empty to maintain the volume, the price of the properties and the price of the rents than actually rent it. And you see that on the side of this building, there seems to be a hooded kid making some quite impressive tag. And you look around and you know that there's a lot of police around here, but nobody but you seems to be paying attention. And I'm gonna compel your Hello versus Millennials aspect for you to be curious about this.
Yeah, I'll take that, compel.
Okay, so get a fate point and tell us what you do.
Oh, I have to reload the roll for your party to save on bandwidth. They've stopped me from updating because I've been idle for too long. So there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna try, and by I mean Bob, so we'll see. But to be like inconspicuous and cool about it, because fellow teen millennial does not imply the most cool approach. I just kind of like stand near and like lean against the wall as though I were just randomly chilling, leaning against the wall, because that's what people do. And be like, hey, that's pretty cool.
As the teen turns towards you, how do you know that the kid is a vampire?
Oh. Well, his hood is pulled all the way forward and it's kind of warm outside. But he's like not showing any skin. Like he's even got gloves on. And then I think he's, preternaturally pale, especially for the area we're in. I need to read up again on San Marino and make sure that I don't really know what the population here is like, but I think he's pale by anybody's standards anywhere, but with very, blood red lips, like your sort of typical vampire indicators. And I'm like, oh, I decide not to address the vampire aspect. I think because in an alley is not the place that you want to just be like, so you're a vampire. So I'm just gonna keep like complimenting his street art, but like mentally note this dude, and then I can tell Leah and Julian, because maybe this is the one from the dorm, and maybe we've already got a lead now. So yeah, I've like never met an actual street artist before.
How good are you at keeping your cool about the fact that he's a vampire?
I mean, I think Bob's not particularly good at keeping his cool about anything. So that's like good and bad in that I don't think there would be a way to tell like that he was awkward because he figured out someone was a vampire. He's just clearly an awkward guy. So the vampire, I think, would not know. He would just seem like an awkward dude because he is one. And I'm assuming that most supernatural creatures are flying under the radar typically and would not expect to be recognized. But,
yeah, because most of the people, they are pretty good at not looking at the monsters even when they are all around us. And some of them are even supernatural.
yeah, some. So yeah, I think that Bob is awkwardly making conversation, and probably this vampire just wants to get on with finishing his tag so we can get out of here, given the police force that you said was in the area.
Yeah, and you look at the tag, and it seems to be depicting a pool of blood going through the walls of the dead building, and you can see uh, a massive boot smashing something, grounding what seems to be the roof of the building, and you can see a bunch of schools being ground up, and
Schools, huh?
yeah,
I was
and
with you right till the schools. I was starting to think this is a cool guy, like smash the establishment, but schools?
yeah, and that's the thing. The schools, the skulls, they some of them are humanoid, but you notice that others they seem kind of flimsy, the bones, a bit hollow, and to have extended canine teeth. And he seems to be on the process of writing something over the boot and the bones, and it seems to be starting with all are equal before, and it's not finished.
So Bob's just sort of like still awkward, but like enthusiastic, like, yeah. I mean, you tell him this is awesome. Like, way to get the message out there. I don't know exactly what the message is, so I'm just calling it the message, as though I am in the know.
And the kid seems to be taking a lot of effort to talk, and it comes out as a coarse hiss with like dust after you open a cupboard that has been closed for 3 generations and you found it on between a shelf before you were expelled out of your family home, and it just goes, it never changes in 2002 years. 2002 years and it's all the same.
I think Bob actually just nods because he doesn't doubt it. Like, at this point, Bob's having a rough day. This vampire actually seems pretty all right. And I think Bob's not going to want to hunt this guy for sure. But Bob would like to, like, befriend him. So I would like to offer a fate point to make a story thing, if possible.
Sure, spend a fight point to establish a fiction fact. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like for the vampire to pick up on Bob's sincerity and to offer him some way of finding or contacting him later.
Mm. Okay, this is more of a context thing. I'm gonna say that you are invoking his aspect, so I'm gonna give you the benefits of that.
Okay.
The good thing is that if you don't need to invoke this, you don't need to give me the fate point. So, what you think would be the best way to express your sincerity?
I think it's just in what I'm saying, like that I appreciate his art and the message, and you know, he says this cryptic thing, and I'm like nodding along in agreement. Like I'm not getting in his way. I'm not drawing attention to anything. I'm just like standing there appreciating what he's doing, and you know, I imagine in San Martino, most people would like walk right by or alert a policeman or give him a hard time, but like,
So, social worker or organizer? Seems to be the case that you're going for.
I don't think I have either of those.
Shit. What? But Bob is very sincere.
I know. I don't know why. I mean, I could add one. I have 2 slots left, so I guess social worker would be more likely for Bob. No, maybe organizer, like bringing groups of pals together and whatnot. I'll add organizer to my average skill, I guess.
Okay. So, I would say this vampire has been pretty jaded, so you're gonna need to beat a 4.
Okay. So I will try to do it with it. Is there not supposed to be another fate die?
What? What?
I only see 3 fate dice on the board. Aren't there supposed to be 4?
Here. The other was near the edge dice.
I'm like scrolling. Oh, they're on the bottom 4. Okay. Roll for your party. Stop misbehaving, please. Okay. So that's the nothing +1. So I should probably invoke to reroll. I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's the invoke that you bought. Better use it to reroll.
Okay.
Oh, that's 3.
But I still need 4 to beat him, right?
You need 5 to beat him. He has
5
4.
to beat him.
So that you need to invoke
invoke something else.
maybe one of your aspects.
Yeah.
Or let me just remind you of the aspects of this scene. So we have the 2 aspects of the piazza. So strained artery of the bloated city, blue shield of private property. And then we also have the 3 issue aspects of the city. Seasonal rat race, nobody's really from San Martino, and it's gonna crash and it's gonna be authentic. So you can spend fate points to take your aspects or any of these 5 to get that 5.
Okay. I would like to use one of the city aspects.
Mm-hmm.
So I think sorry, I'm looking at the sheet to remember what they all are. Maybe nobody's really from San Martino. And I'll invoke that and sort of say something to the effect of like, yeah, you're right, I moved here God only knows how long ago, thinking somehow it would be different or better, but it's just, it isn't anywhere. Just people trying to get by while the boot stomps them down, just like your art. That will add 2. I have to give a fate point, right? But then that'll add 2 to my thing, which brings me up to a 5, which means I succeed.
Yeah. And you managed to break through his walls, he says. You should be careful. It's not safe here. But I would like to talk.
I'd like to talk too. I pull out one of my like doofy business cards and I like sort of look embarrassed handing it to him. Because he's clearly like a 2,000-year-old vampire, and I have like cards with Jim Carrey printed on them or something like that. But I hand him the card and I'm like, maybe get in touch sometime. I'd like to hear like more of your perspective and see more of your work and just do something different, maybe. But if it's not safe, I'll go. I don't want to draw any attention to you.
I don't do cards or phones. I am here on this dead building at night.
Okay, I'll come back and find you then. I have to go. I left some friends in a bar. But if you're here at night, just expect me. I'm Bob, by the way.
Name's Nunes.
It's nice to meet you, Nornis. And I sort of like hold out a hand tentatively, like I'm not sure whether handshaking is the appropriate interaction at this moment, but I'm gonna go for it.
Nunes.
And if it doesn't take it, it's okay.
Yeah, Nunes kind of turns, like a cat ready to hiss, and as if he smelled something that it displeased him on you, and he runs inside the building calling.
Well, that was not what Bob wanted, and he is discouraged, but he will go back to the bar because he's not gonna like antagonize the 2,000-year-old vampire by like maybe he needs a shower. He doesn't know. So he goes back to the bar. Sorry I was gone so long. The walk didn't really go the way I expected. But did you guys have a good chance to talk or?
Yeah, totes. We we decided that we should just go and grab that Sumerian artifact if we can find it, and then we'll do the right thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. All right. So I'll accept the ad.
Great.
So very important. Who is taking the job?
I mean, it's on my account, right?
It's on your account. It's now on Leah's listings too, and Walter also has that one.
Oh, okay. So I would be down for someone else putting it on their account. I think Bob is flustered, which has been obvious to everyone. And I think
Okay.
it
Then
makes sense to me that, like, if you guys have decided that one of you would just take it sort of definitively, because Bob is obviously sort of all over the place.
yeah, I'll I'm sorry, I'm blanking right now on my name. It's even written on my thing. What is
Julian.
it? No, it's not. Julian. Yeah, Julian will take it.
Okay.
Oh, let's do it then.
All right.
You ready, Bob? You seem a little bit distracted.
I'm having a weird day. You know, it's life's been a little bit tough recently, and also, I don't know, I guess my eyes are being open to things today. You know, our discussion earlier kind of caught me off guard, and I met someone on my walk, and maybe I just need to think for a while, but I'm here for the job. I'm not going to let you guys down. You're my friends. We took the job together. I think our first step should be making sure to be prepared for the possibility of these demons. I know that, like, there were some called Galu, who would, like, take people to the underworld. So I read about that, but I couldn't get any. I didn't see any, like, indication of why they would go for a given person over another one, which concerns me because it doesn't really tell us how to ward them off. But they seem pretty dangerous.
These Sumerian demons, you mean?
Yeah, the Galu are the ones that I was able to find the most information on. I don't know that those are them, I guess, but
All right. Well, as long as there's no ghosts or the Gogzarians, I think we'll be okay. We can handle it.
I mean, dragging people to the underworld, like, you get that means you die and they drag you off to, like, some sort of Sumerian hell, presumably, right?
I don't even know what that means. I mean, how bad can the Sumerian underworld be? It's just myths. It's just stories. Stuff to scare little kids.
Julian,
Be fine.
I want to say something, like, and I don't want it to sound mean or anything, because I don't mean it that way, but, like, you would definitely have gotten eaten by a ghoul on our last gig if Diego and I hadn't been there to, like, literally,
That's true. But,
like,
like,
kick its
being
ass and
eaten
then
by
burn
a
it with a
big
blowtorch.
ugly beast is one thing. Like, being transported to the Sumerian underworld, I mean, come on. That's kid stories.
I think we should be prepared, Leah.
Yeah. You know, I'll get it on my laptop and see if I can find some information about where this is. And I mean, I'm sure you got this, researching the demon stuff down, Bob, because I know how good you're with those things.
Yeah. I mean, like, what Bob is trying to do is get Leah to back him up because he's, like, exasperated. Because,
All right.
like, these demons are likely to be super, super dangerous. And Julian just doesn't seem to be concerned at all. And Bob doesn't want to be mean and, like, sort of try to pull him into reality that, like, the reality of being hunters is that your life is literally on the line and that if you don't know what you're doing, you will lose. But that is the reality, right? So he's sort of like giving Leah that look like, help me out. I don't know what to do. Like, this is beyond my level of social acumen.
Yeah, I think I think Leah would pick up on that, and she says, and Julian, I mean, if you for 1 second underestimate one of these things on a mission, you're gonna die one day, and maybe some of people you're doing it with too. So just assume the worst, okay?
I mean, if
Thanks,
death
Leah.
is the worst, I can totally imagine that. The Sumerian underworld, I'm sorry, I just can't imagine that.
Well, there's a lot of good paintings I could point you in the direction of in terms of, imagining what hell looks like. None of them are pleasant.
If you've ever read Gilgamesh, there's one of the demons in there. It's an ancient Sumerian text. It's actually a favorite of mine. Like, it's about this king, and he's a bad dude, so they call down this, like, wild man. Well, first they send him to a prostitute, and, like, somehow that doesn't work. Although she seemed like a nice lady when I read the book. But they send down this wild man, and then they become best. Have you read it? Ankiru is the other guy.
The wild man and the prostitute?
No,
Yeah, sometimes
Gilgamesh,
that's screaming
the
in
Epic
hotel
of
rooms.
Gilgamesh.
Oh,
Well,
Gilgamesh,
never
no.
mind.
I don't read comics.
Okay, I guess good. And I think I gave like Bob like a look like what is this friend that you're bringing out to this thing even, and I'll see if I can find it then. Julian, you should check out. I think my favorite painting is called The Last Judgment. I think you should check that out.
The Last Judgment?
Yeah.
Um,
You need some help with your imagination.
I'm thinking about it, and like now that I remembered that Gilgamesh was Sumerian, I'm thinking about like a bunch of things I've read. So like there was this one demon that had the head of a lion and would drink the blood and devour the flesh and bones of her victims. And some of them were like departed spirits who would aimlessly wander the earth and torment the living in like not so pleasant ways. I think there are actually a lot, which means we should be all the more prepared because we don't know which ones might be tied to this artifact. But you should definitely look at the painting that
I
Leah.
get calls from debt collectors all the time. I know what it's like when someone torments the living. I already experienced that.
How have you survived to this point in life?
Day at a time.
I feel like if I were as cavalier about everything as you were, like I would have been homeless years ago and probably died.
Well, I move around a lot.
I guess if you like steal expensive things and launder the money, that's one way to do it. I can't afford not to take these gigs seriously, and I wouldn't even be doing it if I could afford not to, because I don't really want to have my flesh and bones devoured. but I have to pay a deposit on my apartment, so I'm going to do it. But I hope we can work as a team and really like, I mean, I know I like to joke, but sometimes it's time to be serious.
Serious about the Sumerian underworld?
Julian, yes, for fuck's sake. Like, what's with you, dude?
It's just imagination. It's stories they tell people to scare them into doing things.
That's what people say about ghouls. We just met a ghoul like 3 days ago.
That was a big crazy beast. I mean, an underworld, that means that there's like some weird dimension you get teleported to, and what, like demons feast on your liver and torment you while, gnashing teeth or something. I mean, come on. What is this? It's poetry.
All right, fine. You know what? I am having a week from hell, and we'll just let you be the bait again, like you were last time. And since you're so unconcerned, like, you'll make great bait, I'm sure. And Leah and I will actually try to fight the demons.
I'm not saying it's not going to be dangerous, but look, I mean, we managed a ghoul. How much worse can a demon be?
A lot worse. It could potentially be a lot worse. That's what Leah was saying. Like, these monsters are no joke, and they will kill you. Like, debt collectors, I mean, maybe your debt collectors kill people, but generally they just like harass you with really demoralizing phone calls and like garnish your wages and make life miserable, but they don't literally rip your flesh from your bones. I know it feels like it sometimes, and trust me, you're not the only one who has struggled with bills, okay? Like, I wear a sandwich board for a living. Like, that is not what I went to college for, was to wear a sandwich board all day long, but I do it to try to fend off the debt collectors and everyone, because life is hard and the city is brutal and nothing ever changes. And he's like thinking about the vampire now. And he's sort of like just melting down. Like, he's having all this stress. He's been trying really hard to make this hunt thing work with friends. He met this vampire. And this is Bob like losing his composure, probably for the first time either of you have ever seen. Like, he's hit a breaking point, because he really doesn't want to get killed and is now starting to worry he's going to get killed because of Julian, but can't like back out because he needs the money. And it's like we're all putting our lives on the line together, and it only takes one person's foolhardy mistake to give away the whole group. And I don't want to get killed, and I swear to God, if you get Leah killed...
Bob, I don't want you to get killed or hurt either. Look, I'll be careful.
Thank you. You need to be. We don't even know what we're up against yet.
Okay. I'll be careful.
Thank you. I'm sorry I got upset. I'm a little bit stressed out.
Okay, look, we do have a couple of days to pull this off. It seems like maybe, and I think Leah like looks between the two of you. We should, take a little breather here, get home, maybe eat something nice and have a sleep, and then I'm gonna see if I can find any traces of the artifacts, and you, Bob, you go find about this demon. And I think I look over at you, Julian. You had some connections with the art collectors and stuff like that, wasn't that it?
Well, of sorts. I mean, Roberto's not really an art collector per se, but let me put it this way. Whoever stole this is going to need to sell it through underground channels, right? And Roberto, he's pretty familiar with those channels. So it's possible he could give us a lead on somebody who's trying to sell it. And that would be our thief.
So, It was Julian that accepted the job, right?
Yeah.
So you see the message, the icon that is messaging for the client blink, and you see a torrent of message as someone is typing a lot, and it's sending you photos, and you see what seems to be the photos of a crate, of index serialized collection number, a shipping manifesto, a bunch of stuff, and it seems that someone is really being on the job. And they even send a report about the last person that saw it, who is being responsible for unloading the ship in which it was carried, and then it continues. Well, what have been your findings so far? I need to be updated on the clock.
Oh, they want updates from us.
Yeah, and you have like 3 dozen photos of involved with the transportation of the thing, including photos of different catalogs and different auction houses of the vessel in question.
Oh my God, this is a lot of work. So Bob already left? Bob like went to take a nap or something?
No, I would leave at the same time everybody else does. And so
Oh,
I
okay,
don't
you're
know
still here, so we can all
where
look at
you're
the
getting all the information. I know Leah said we should all like go do our separate research. So I don't know if Juliet is getting all of this after we've departed or not.
Yeah, so we need we'll need a place to like go through it all. So yeah, I don't know. Julian's like, all right, we really need a place where we can keep all this. I'm just gonna like upload all this to my to a Dropbox account or something, and give you guys access to the folder, and so we can go through all this stuff together.
Cool. I got my hands on some like image recognition software that I could. There's like the city surveillance tapes are pretty easy to hack into. I might try to match it.
Ah, nice. Okay, so looks like we have a lot of documents to go through. So we can get started on that. Try and look for leads then.
Yeah, seems like a good idea.
Have you contacted the person who placed the ad? They seem to be very eager to be in constant communication, and maybe they could
yeah,
I mean, they referenced the demons in the ad, so maybe they could give us a heads up about if they know which particular kinds of demons. That would help me in my research a lot.
okay. Yeah, I'll send a message to the person, or can I call them? Do I have like a number? Can I just like talk to them on the phone?
No.
We message them through the app, right?
Message through the app.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll send them a message and I'll be like, hey, we're on the job. Like, is there a particular demon we should be on the lookout for?
And tururu, 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 and you see that they are uploading you 56 different academic papers.
Oh, all about demons?
Yes.
Wow. Are they all the same demon, or are they like different demons?
No. And none of them covers a single demon.
Wait, no, none of them are about demons.
No, all of them are about demons. All of them are of different demons. And there's not, and all the articles are about different demons. And they're portrayed in
so
art.
there's more than 56 demons. So there's like hundreds of demons discussed in these articles.
Yes, and a lot of the times they are reported as they've been studied before, and a lot of information there is contradictory.
Great. Okay. Well, I send so I just add those to another folder in the drive, and I make sure that Bob has a link to it, and I'm like, well, there you go. We got all kinds of information on demons. Looks like there's a lot of demons that got out of this thing.
Indeed. So Ludo, I am legit willing to do the actual research on these demons so that Bob will know about them. Like, I pulled up this page as just like a quick reference, but I would do like more thorough research. So if you can actually write down somewhere in the Keeper or send to me like a message with the names of the demons that the contact said Julian, I will bob it up before next session.
That's the thing. It's pretty much a complete historiography of the study of Babylonian, Sumerian, and Assyrian demons and spirits. But
I wouldn't underestimate Bob. If he says all of them, Bob will know about all of them.
Yeah, and the good thing is that you have your Evelina trait for that. The thing is, there's actually something that can help you shortlist what to expect from the tablet. And this, actually, Bob can get an idea the moment he looks at the photos of the vessel properly. Why don't you do me an occultism or academic check, difficulty 6.
Ooh. Also, Julian could create an opportunity for me.
Yeah.
By identifying one of them in the pictures, and I would be able to research it more.
Yeah, Julian, why don't you roll organizer against difficulty 2 to create a very nice index that, despite Bob's ADD, he can actually keep track of everything and focus on the important stuff. So
okay, yeah. So I put in like a spreadsheet and like a project management tools for all that good stuff. Sure.
So
okay,
organize it against difficulty 2.
All right. And I have organizer 4, so that's 4 dice. Let's see. And then we have
it's always 4 dice, and then it's plus your modifier. Unless you have the edge, in which case it's 3 dice plus the edge die.
I mean, add 4. Yeah, sorry. Let's see. And then do we have? I've been playing too many games lately. I don't remember. We have. Let's see. Oh, so I could spend a fate point, but I can decide that after I roll if I want to. Okay,
yeah.
So we'll just roll.
Start with base roll.
Okay, let's see. And are the dice here? Can I just not see them? No. Okay, so I'll add new dice to the dice roller.
No, so, dice they are there.
Are they? I don't see them. Maybe I need to refresh.
Scroll down. For me, the 4 blue fate dice were at the bottom of the screen below where I could see before I scrolled. It took me a minute to find them.
Make some new ones because I don't see them anywhere on my screen. Maybe.
Do you want me to just roll for you? Because I don't think there's a fate. Is there a fate die thing on the thing, or are they a custom set, Ludo?
No, they are there. It's the DF.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. By all means.
Hello?
Yeah, what was the result?
I got a -1, and with my organizer, that's a 3. I don't know why my internet just went down. It looks like it's fine. This is so frustrating.
So that's a 3. Difficulty is 2. So you managed to create an advantage with a free invoke. So we have the aspect neat spreadsheets. Okay, Bob, it's your turn to shine.
Okay. So as I recall, you can create an advantage for yourself as well. Yes?
Yes.
I mean, the team could ostensibly use it, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide whether that's a better way to go or whether to just use one of my stunts off the bat. I'm going to use no stuff, the Evelina stunt. And it lets me hold on to a situational aspect related to my knowledge of monsters. And I can keep it as long as I like and have one free invoke in a scene where it's relevant. So I could even use it next game, I think, unless I'm interpreting it wrong. So I would like to spend a fate point to hold on to a situational aspect. And I guess we can call it like I'm trying to think of what's a word that encompasses Assyrian, Babylonian, and Sumerian, so that they're not all in the aspect name. But to say like the who's who of ancient demons, maybe.
Demons between rivers.
Interesting. I like that. As long as basically what I want the aspect to do is make it so that I'm familiar with the physical traits of the different, like I'm doing the research with the spreadsheet, right? And the aspect, or the situational aspect, is that they look different enough from each other that you can figure out which one's which. So demons between rivers, who's who of ancient demons. I recognize your face like appendage, like whatever you want to call it, but yeah, basically just that they different demons look different.
Okay, so you created the aspect. Time to beat that 6 to get this key information.
Oh, I thought if I used the skill or the stunt and spent the fate point, I just get to create the aspect and hold on to it to invoke it later.
Yes, and now you're gonna do the overcome to get that key information from the pictures, and then you can benefit from the aspect you created.
Oh. Okay. How does the stunt factor in?
That you did not need to roll to create advantage. That you can use the advantage created by Julian, and you can use the free invoke from the stunt now too.
Okay, I'm computing it wrong, but I'm just gonna roll anyway. So that's only one success. I have 2 from a. Am I using a cultist for this? Because I'm trying to do
Cultist or academics. That's what I decided at the moment.
Oh, academic, I have 4. So that would give me a 5. I guess plus the invoke would give me the 7. That would be the 6.
So you have 7. You don't want to go more?
Out of character, I'm just confused about the stunt because I thought the stunt automatically gave me the
aspect, but the aspect does not beat the challenge alone. The aspect is something that you can invoke to get +2 or to reroll.
But I'm not trying to use it yet. I thought I was holding on to it.
Yeah, it's
until
there.
It was relevant.
It's there. If you want to use it now, you can. If you don't want to use it now, you don't.
Right. I don't want to use it now. I was wanting to use it when we're facing the demons so I could recognize which ones they were. So I'm just not sure what I'm rolling to do at the moment.
You are rolling to identify some very crucial information from the photos that Julian has.
Ah, okay. That I did not realize I was doing that. Okay, I will invoke something else, I guess.
Invoke the spreadsheet.
Yeah. Okay, so now I have 9.
So you have 9. Okay, so you manage the overcome with style. So, because of that, you get a boost. So you get +2 as a floating. So you look at the photos, and as you are indexing everything and taking notes to topics that you're going to research later, and you're creating an who is who between the Tigger and the Euphrates, you find that the vessel is actually part of a series. And what is depicting there is something that has been found on other tablets that seem to be depicting the descent of Inanna into the underworld, and that the vessel there seem to be created to infuse the beings that will be taking the place of the saviors of Inanna from the underworld, as well as give them the means to capture and trap some of the countless evil Gala that the goddess will be needing to evade on the route.
Okay, so the descent of Inanna to the underworld, the vessels were created to contain Galu and what else?
To invest the power upon the 2 beings that will rescue the goddess from the underworld.
Okay.
And from what you can see from the parts of the vessel, you see mentions to the arsenal of the goddess, whatever that means.
Okay. I'm just keeping some notes in my extras box on the keeper.
And you can see on the notes of the Metropolitan Museum that is arguing who commissioned the work, because most of the people seem to say that it was commissioned by Sargon of Akkad, but these anthropologists from the Met Museum defends that actually the copies of the plates are indeed from that period, from the Akkadian period, but actually this vessel is probably an original that is at least 500 years older. And I think this seems to be a great time to stop with this information.
I tried to get down as much as I could as you were talking. I do not type very quickly when I also have like animals surrounding me and I'm reaching over them.
Well, you can
I
always
got enough of it down that I can
go back through me as revised. Also, it's on video, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of video, I'm gonna stop now. Oh no, this is to stop the video, not stop the recording.